to Walled City. This is going to be a fun adventure, and we're going to start off with Waterfall Jump. It is a very, very easy method to get out of bounds here in Walled City. And the first thing you want to do is get into the river as fast as you can. Now, when you reach a point, you can, just find an angle. There are many angles that work. But really, you want to get not too close to the edge, and you want to find a reasonably wide angle. This is honestly really, really easy. When I come out of first person, I'm going to hold up, and as soon as I jump, I'm going to switch to upright and hold R. And I had a very, very wide angle, and that still worked. And I was far away from the edge, and it still worked perfectly fine. Now, this light spot on the ground, I want to put my right foot on the left edge of it. This also not too precise. And then I want to look at the corner of this rock. And it's not quite centered. And again, there's a reasonable window here. You could have it centered and it would work. There's a reasonable window for this to work. Now, when I come out of first person, I'm going to continue to hold up. I am going to press X to roll. And as soon as I jump, I'm going to switch to upright. Reasonably easy sequence here. I think I might do these all in one video. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and start with Red Eye King early. So as you'll notice, I am out of bounds. There's definitely things that are not rendered, that are not meant to be seen. But as you can see, the water extends very far out of bounds. And I want to get into the water out of bounds. And I'm going to use the water out of bounds to my advantage here. So to get out of bounds, you could come up here and just, manually line up and just do whatever. But if you want to go fast, you can do a nice sweeping motion. Just go from up to down. One sweeping motion. While you have a reasonable angle. Now, Red Eye King early has an easy way and a hard way. I'm going to show the easy way first, and then I'm going to show the hard way. But for the easy way, you want to swim over towards the R-Wing. Make sure that you stay a reasonable distance from the river, as the current extends pretty far out of bounds. And you just want to not get pushed by the current of the river. Or at least not yet. Once you reach about here, you want to start veering in. And as you can see, the water plane extends out of bounds. And I'm going to use that to my advantage. I want to be lifted up by the water. But once I get touched by this water plane, I will start feeling the current of the river. So I have to make sure that I balance that out in my movement. And once I'm pulled up and I'm coming around, you can see that you can go up left, or you can also go up right. And where I want to go is upright. I want to go this way. Normally, you wouldn't be pulled by the current that hard. That was actually kind of strange to me that I was pulled by the current that hard. But I want to swim towards the basement of the main pyramid. And I want to break my swim on the exit ramp. Now, keep in mind that, obviously, I haven't opened this door. So I want to make sure that I don't go inbounds, because I can be soft locked, and that would not be fun. Be careful. Please break my swim. Alright. Once you break the swim, you want to be about aligned with the boundary itself. And you want to... There's a steeper part of the slope. You want to be right at the bottom of the steeper part. You want to have a decent angle. And you want to see the torches are loaded. Now that you see the torches are loaded, you're going to step slightly out. And you have a decent little space here. But obviously you don't want to step out too far. And once you're stepped out, you want to step forward, and then as you're walking down, you want to step back in. And now we've bypassed the loading trigger that we already hit, though. We already hit it, so it's perfectly fine. But this whole room is now completely loaded, including, well, almost including the boss loading zone. Now, to load the boss loading zone, you must touch the save and quit trigger, which is at the base of this ramp, and it does not extend very far out of bounds. You want to basically be like touching the torch as you reach this point. Now from here I'm going to turn right, and just like with Cape Claw early, I'm going to sidestep until the left part of Fox's right ear is in bounds. And then from here, I'm going to step back out. I can walk forward. Turn left. I can walk forward. Once you're past this corner, turn left. Hold target. And then hold forward until you're touching the wall in front of you. Alright, I'm touching the wall now. Now I need to walk barely under the gate. And then I need to go back. And that starts the boss fight. And now I will show the harder version. The harder version requires you to break your swim early, and you do a very, very precise and risky drop to touch the lower water plane from up top. And because you're falling, you carry that downward momentum, and you have just enough time to swim under/behind the waterfall, and you can get to the basement of the pyramid much faster. And it is, like I said, it's a lot harder than doing it the other way. It is so much harder. So here you want to, you see this thing that's sticking out from under the ground. Clearly that's, I'm aligning myself to that. Swim directly at it, because again, the currents extend out of bounds quite a ways. And I don't want to hit the current immediately. I want to hit the current a little bit farther, so that way when I swim towards the river, I can be lifted up immediately. And once I'm lifted up, I want to straighten the camera out. And hold R as I'm swimming along here. Alright, once you're here, ensure that you're out of bounds, step out, make sure. And then you want to align yourself with the green texture. I try to align it so that you see how the bottom of the green part aligns with Fox's right ear. That's kind of what I'm looking for, and then I want to make sure that my angle is completely straight. And then I check my alignment, I make sure everything's good, and now I walk forward until the backpack is no longer visible at all. I need to go slightly. Alright. Now, if done correctly, when you turn left without moving, you have to turn left without moving, you should see Fox's ear poking out of the wall as such. From here, I go first person, and I count the red squares. Alright? Not the ones that are already on the screen, but the ones that are coming. 1, 2, 3. And I want to... Now, this only works for 4x3. You know, call it what you will. This only works for 4x3. If you want to play the game in 16:9, you might need to find another solution for this. But for 4x3 setup, I line up the left edge of the screen with the left edge of this red square. And now, I need to explain something about ledges. When you walk off of a ledge, with anything between a slow walk and full speed, so if you're anywhere between moving as slow as possible and moving as fast as possible, there is a large variance in the amount of speed that you have when you come off of the ledge. You can actually affect this by holding digital L, by doing box movement when you come off of a ledge. If you're going faster than a slow walk, it more or less guarantees that you have the maximum amount of speed that you can when falling off of the ledge. And this is important because what I'm trying to hit is the water plane that's below me, but I want to hit it from below, and I want to carry my downward momentum as I do so. So I'm going to come out of first person, and then I'm going to press right, and then almost immediately switch to up. It's hard to describe this exact window. It's small. But this is something that you have to get a feel for. But by holding L until I at least come off of the ledge, I guarantee that I'll have as much speed as possible. And it does make this trick a little bit easier. Before, we didn't know about the holding target on ledges thing, and so it wasn't really a thing that crossed our minds. So hopefully I can get this first try. And then immediately switch to left and rotate the stick as the camera pans. You want to hit the lower levels, that way you can swim with the current here. And once you're far enough, you can start swimming, and the current becomes less and less relevant. And so now you're much, much lower. And as you see, the torches are not there. The room is not fully loaded yet. And so I need to break my swim here. Step out. Walk up. And like I said, you want to be at the lowest part of the speaker part. And once you're in the right spot, you will see the torches come in. And from here, it is essentially a mirror of the easy way. Step out. Forward and come in. You want to touch the torch from out of bounds. And as a matter of fact, this is actually slightly harder because the saving foot trigger extends less on this side than it does on the right side. So you have to be really, really in at the base. And again, this time it's the opposite. It's the right side of Fox's left ear, but it's just a mirror. And other than that, it is exactly the same. Wall, slightly under the gate. And you get the point. And that is Red Eye King early. And yeah. And I think that's a good place to stop this one. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.